Welcome back. Verizon shares down about 3% in the past month, but options traders are betting the stock is going to head higher. That's what Jon and Pete have in their unusual activity. Doc, you're up first with VZ.
VZ indeed, Scott. Take a look at this one, about 59.30 as we're going on air with this. And they're buying upside calls, the 6250 calls in particular. And they bought them in pretty big numbers. How big? 10,000 of the March 6250s. As always, Scott, there are several bits of information here. Number one, time frame, March. Number two, strike price, about $3 roughly higher than where the stock is right now. So I bought these calls. They traded 10,000 of them. That action is building now. They were under $1, so it's a cheap shot. And I'll probably be in these about 2 months. Two quick updates, if I could, Scott. First, SE. This is one that, has delighted us time and time again, working yet again. We talked last week about these calls being bought aggressively. Stock is now 37.60, traded up through 38 today. These calls up 270%, the ones that we cited last week, those D40s. Second one, not so good. That was WWE. This one, just after we saw the unusual activity in here, they had a big hiccup in Saudi Arabia, as you might recall, and that entire stock dived. Our calls lost half their value. I exited those calls. I think they were trading $2.40, Pete. We got out for right around $1.50, $1.40, and we're out of those, Scott.
Hey, let me ask you a question about SE.
Mm-hmm.
You said it keeps working, again and again.
Yep.
Why don't you just buy the stock if you have that kind of feeling, or you at least see the fact that these calls keep working well?
Well, number one, it's trading to highs each time that it does this, Scott. So I'm not as comfortable owning the stock as I am owning like a $1 call. That's the main reason. The other one is that I really like the idea that I can put a little bit of money on the table here and spread it out on the rest of the trades rather than having all my eggs in one basket.
It's all about leverage and discipline. Jon talked about the one that didn't work, Scott. The WWE didn't work. You got to cut your losses and get out. We talk about it all the time. This one, it is working. Take a look at the returns that you get when you're looking at the stock. Maybe you're up 5, 10, 15, 20%. Great. How about the fact that your returns are, 178%?
Yep.
So that's another reason to be in those options, far more than just holding onto the stock.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Thank you for that. Pete, what do you have?
I got Quanta Services for you. Now, this one's a name that we don't really talk about very often, doesn't hit very often, but it's kind of interesting because we just got done talking about oil and energy and all the rest of that. Well, this sits right there. Now, when they first started buying these, I got to point out, stock was trading 42. Stock's a little bit higher now, 40 cents higher. So these options have obviously moved to the upside as well, but they're going after January, and they didn't buy huge numbers, but you can see approaching 4,000 these January 43 calls. They're trading about $1.10. I like that. I like the risk reward. Seems like people have more and more been pushing out a little bit. So Jon talked about March. I'm talking about January. By the way, I got another one for you as well. Luckin Coffee. You want to talk about pushing out?
One of his
This
favorites.
one's really pushing out. I already own the stock. I like this. This is a Chinese coffee name that competes with Starbucks. They lost less than expected last quarter. They beat on revenues. Stock popped up towards 30. You can see some of the charts right here. But now they're going out to 2021 and buying the 30 strike calls. Take a look at these numbers. These are big numbers, and that's a $5.50 option. That's huge premium that these guys are paying out into the future. That just gives me more confidence to hold on to that stock. I'll keep on selling calls against it, Scott, and try to get a little return off of those.
All right. Good stuff.